Here's a question that sounds simple. Why can't a robot pick up a tomato without crushing it? Not a heavy object, not a complex task, just a tomato. And it's not just tomatoes. A single sheet of paper lying flat on a table, a handful of salad, a piece of fabric, a thin circuit board. Things you and I handle without even thinking about it. For decades, this was a genuine bottleneck in robotics. But engineers have been quietly solving it with grippers that look nothing like the metal claws you've seen in factories. Let's go through them one by one. First, a quick word on what came before. Your hand is constantly adjusting pressure, angle, grip area based on thousands of nerve signals, all happening automatically. Traditional factory grippers can't do any of that. The 2-jaw or 3-jaw metal clamps used in car manufacturing and heavy industry are strong and precise, but only for one specific predictable object. They work well where every part is identical and arrives in the same position every time. The moment you introduce variety, different shapes, different textures, fragile surfaces, they fail. And that's exactly the gap these newer designs are filling. The most widely adopted modern gripper is made not from metal but from silicone or rubber. These are called soft pneumatic grippers. They use flexible fingers that inflate with air. When air is pumped in, the fingers curl inward and wrap around whatever they're touching. Release the air, they open. It's surprisingly simple. Because the fingers are soft, they automatically conform to the shape of the object. Round, lumpy, irregular, it doesn't matter. The grip spreads across the whole surface rather than pressing at a single hard point, which is why these grippers can handle fruit and vegetables without bruising, eggs without cracking, and oddly shaped items without slipping. They're well suited to collaborative robots, the smaller arms designed to work alongside people and are already deployed in food packaging lines, agricultural harvesting robots, and some surgical assistance systems. The trade-off is that they are slower than rigid grippers and struggle with very heavy loads or very flat objects. Now, here's one that genuinely surprises people. Imagine a small balloon filled with a granular material, something like coffee grounds, fine plastic beads, or glass beads. In its relaxed state, the material flows freely and the balloon is soft and shapeless. Press it against an object and it molds around it perfectly. Then apply a vacuum to remove the air, and the granules lock together, hardening the balloon into a rigid shell that holds the exact shape of whatever it's gripping. Release the vacuum, it softens and lets go. This is called a granular jamming gripper. Coffee grounds were used in the original research and became popular partly because of how easy they are to source and filter, though modern designs use plastic microspheres, glass beads, or other granular materials depending on what gripping force is needed. What makes this gripper remarkable is how shape universal it is. It has been tested on everything from raw eggs to coins to screwdrivers, often without the robot needing to know the shape of the object in advance. It works well on general-purpose robot arms in warehouse and logistics settings. The main limitations are payload, it suits lighter objects, and the small time the vacuum cycle takes to engage and release. Vacuum and suction grippers have been around for quite a while, but honestly, the way they're used today is way smarter. Modern vacuum grippers, use arrays of small individually controlled suction cups. A sensor or camera actually tells the system which cups are sitting over a solid surface and which aren't, and only those cups switch on. So this means the gripper can handle boxes with holes in them, oddly shaped pouches, or even objects smaller than the full pad, all without losing grip. These are by far among the most common grippers in e-commerce fulfillment centers right now, handling an enormous variety at high speed across different packaging types. They're just perfect for medium to large robot arms doing repetitive pick and place work. The main limitation though is that they need a reasonably smooth, non-porous surface. Mesh, heavily textured materials or wet surfaces can break the seal pretty easily. Please subscribe for watching more content like this. Thank you for your likes, shares, and subscriptions. Next, let's talk about electro adhesion grippers. This one almost sounds like something from a physics class, right? You know how a balloon rubbed on your hair can stick to a wall? That's static electricity at work. Electro adhesion grippers use exactly the same principle, but in a controlled switchable form. The gripper is basically a flat pad that generates a small electrical field when switched on. creating a gentle, attractive force between the pad and the object's surface. Switch it off and the object is released. No fingers, no suction, no moving parts at all. This works especially well on flat, thin, or delicate objects. Things like single sheets of paper, fabric panels, or flexible circuit boards. Stuff that's nearly impossible to pick up any other way. It's really suited for small, precise robot arms in electronics manufacturing and textile automation. The holding force is fairly modest, so it's not great for heavier objects, and yeah, it's sensitive to surface contamination like dust or moisture. For metal objects specifically, electromagnets offer one of the cleanest and fastest gripping solutions out there. Just switch the magnet on and it grips, switch it off and it releases. There's no wear, no moving parts, and you get very fast cycle times. Modern versions often use permanent magnets with a mechanical release mechanism, which means the grip is maintained even if the power goes out. Super important in safety critical settings. These are best suited for large, heavy industrial robot arms working in steel processing, sheet metal fabrication, and automotive body assembly. The limitation is pretty straightforward. They only work on ferromagnetic materials. So steel is a yes, but aluminum or plastic, unfortunately, is a no. Finally, there's a whole category of objects that are porous, loose, or just have no grippable surface at all. Things like fabric, carpet, foam, or even shredded food like salad. This is where needle grippers come into play. These grippers extend thin needles that lightly pierce the material, creating enough friction to lift it up. When the needles retract, the material falls free, usually without significant damage. They're already in active commercial use in textile factories for handling stacked fabric panels, and in food handling, needle grippers have actually been demonstrated in research, like picking up cabbage salad or loose food products from a tray where no conventional gripper could get a hold. But honestly, commercial deployment in food production is still pretty rare. It's worth making that distinction clear. Working in a lab and working reliably on a production line are two very different things. So we've covered various types of grippers, and the honest takeaway is that no single one works for everything. The right choice always comes down to the object, its weight, shape, surface, and fragility. Increasingly, robot systems swap grippers automatically mid-task or combine two approaches in one hand, because robots are moving out of controlled factory floors and into messier places like warehouses, hospitals, and farms where they need to handle all kinds of objects. Modern grippers can be soft, magnetic, electrified, or filled with tiny beads, each one designed around the object it needs to carry and hold. But however far the technology grows, our hands remain the finest design ever made, and one that still hasn't been fully matched. Thank you for watching this video. I will meet you again with another exciting topic soon. Till then, goodbye and take care.